I just don't want my aunt's life or any of the victims' lives to be just, forgotten.
I'm Tina Teneriello. Earlier, we brought you Marlene Levinson's story. She's speaking out to shed light on one of the most disturbing chapters of Canadian history. Her aunt was a victim of Dr. Ewan Cameron, who conducted brainwashing experiments on patients here at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal. He used sleep-induced comas, massive electroshock treatments, LSD, and sensory deprivation to try and control his patients' minds. Dr. Cameron's controversial research caught the attention of the CIA in the 50s, eventually being funded as part of MKUltra, a program the CIA developed during the Cold War to learn about mind control. The federal government also funded his work. For decades, Marlene has been fighting for justice because her aunt's life was destroyed. To this day, her family has not even received an apology.
And this is a dark side, a dark history of McGill. And it won't go away until they maybe come forward and make an outright apology and admit to a wrongdoing of hiring this barbaric doctor.
Marlene believes McGill University owes her family an apology because of a letter she obtained from the McGill archives dated July 1st, 1943. It's a letter from F. Cyril James, McGill's principal and vice chancellor. In it, he's telling Dr. Cameron he's been appointed to chair the McGill Department of Psychiatry and to be the director of the Allen Memorial Institute, where these experiments took place. Late this afternoon, McGill University responded and would only confirm that Dr. Cameron was the chair of the psychiatry department. McGill University issued this statement: "We are truly sympathetic to the concerns of the family. Today, there are regulatory frameworks for the ethical conduct of research in place with mechanisms to help ensure compliance."
Did they know that he was experimenting? They should be accountable for to know what their doctors are doing. Maybe they didn't do their due diligence enough.
McGill University Health Centre, which for the last 20 years has run the Allen Institute, says in a statement, the McGill University Health Centre acknowledges that Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron carried out experiments at the Allen Memorial Institute during the 50s and 60s. The research attributed to him continues to be controversial and its consequences unfortunate. They add, at the time, he exercised his profession in an autonomous and independent manner. When Marlene's aunt was still alive, the federal government offered $100,000 in compensation to over 70 victims from the 50s and 60s. But Marlene says her aunt was refused because she was a victim in the 40s.
It shouldn't be so difficult for these victims, not just my aunt, but others as well that were victimized, to be able to be compensated and to receive an apology.
In a statement, the Canadian Department of Justice confirmed Dr. Cameron's experiments went on from 1940 to 1960, but said any possible funding from the Canadian government would only have taken place beginning in 1950 under the mental health grant. It said a third-party inquiry found they did not hold any legal responsibility towards patients that underwent Dr. Cameron's tests.
There's really not a price on a person's life. See, when my aunt was still alive, and if she had received some money, she could have perhaps had some more medical attention, personal care.
Although the federal government's compensation plan has come to an end, Marlene and her family still plan on pursuing legal action.
It could have been anybody's husband, wife, child, sister, brother, relative. And to use them as human guinea pigs under the umbrella and environment of a university.
For City News in Montreal, I'm Tina Teneriello.